إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. We are back at Tajweed, and we are in our last lesson. Okay, it's a 20-second lesson. When I say it's our last lesson, meaning we're in the last chapter. The last chapter in the text that we started a while ago called Tuhfat al-Atfal. Okay, this is the classic. I call it Jamzuri all the time, but we are in the chapter called Med. Med is extension or elongation. Just a quick review, just so anybody that got confused last week can catch up. And the reason why I want to go really slow in this last chapter has what? 4 sections. 4 sections in it on a poem. However, there are 9 types of med. Okay? There are 9 different types of med. And that doesn't mean, and I have to show you how that is. We'll go through it. Going slow. We'll go here. Al-Med. Okay. Last week we covered this. I'm just going over again. Just so everybody had any confusion, we can do this again. Because I didn't go over it in this manner. Wal-Meddu asliyun. Wa far'iyun. Lahu. Wa sammi. Awwalan. طبيعيا وهو ما لا توقف له على سبب ولا بدونه الحروف تجتلب بل أي حرف غير همز أو سكون جاء بعد مد فالطبيعي actually فالطبيعي يكون. Let's go really slow. First 3 lines. This is in the order, the way the poem comes. Okay, the last time we came into it the way you can understand it from the aspect of academia. Now, following the poem, this might give a different, slight understanding. وَالْمَدُّ أَصْلِيٌّ وَفَرْعِيٌّ لَهُ وَسَمِّ أَوَّلًا طَبِيعِيًّا وَهُ. Okay, the mud and the mud. This is the chapter on the mud. Mud means what? Elongation. Or extension. This is if I say I stretch myself, right? What we mean when we mention it here is that we extend and elongate our vowel signs. What are our vowel sounds? What are the vowel sounds? A, E, U. So to elongate that would be A, E, U. Right? And also there's something else we could say, which is called lean. Everybody say lean. Lean is the sound that we make when we say ow or a. These types of conjunctions. That's dealing with the wow and the ya. So, here we're going to go. Wal maddu. And the mud and the elongation is asliyun. It comes one form, it's asliyun. Meaning that it has a natural mud, a natural extension, a natural mud, wa and fara'iyun, and a mud that is not aslan, is built on the foundational one. So this is a constructed one. Okay, it's a branched off the original. So there's two types, an original one, and one that is built on the original, a constructed one. You understand what that means? You guys get me? Far'un literally means branch. It's a branch. So this one is branched off the asl. The asl is the root, right? And this is the branch. You guys understand that? So that lets you know that this branch is built on what? The root. So you have the aslan and the far'an. You with me? No. Two types. Lahu, for what? For the mud. Wasammi, and name or call. Awwalan, the first of them, and this is referring to what? The asli. Okay? The asli, you send me the first one. Tabi'iyan is also called tabi'iyan, which is natural or a natural way. Tabi'iyan. Okay? The natural mud. You guys with me? No. Okay. Wahu, and this natural or original, the aslan way of doing it is, and it is, this sentence here, from here is part of the next sentence. وَهُوَ مَا لَا تَوَقُّفٌ لَهُ عَلَى سَبَبٍ وَلَا بِدُونِهِ الْحُرُوفُ تُجْتَلَبْ بل أي حرف غير همز أو سكون جاء بعد مد فالتبعي يكون. This is the end of the sentence. You able to follow me with that? So we have to understand, what is he saying here? So the whole 3 lines that we just did are just explaining 2 points, and only 2 points. The 2 points are that there are 2 types of mud. What are the 2 types of mud? There is asliyun and far'iyun. Asliyun is the original, aslan, the foundational, the root, through which all the other mud are built on. Okay? And the far'iyun, the second type, is the branched mud, which is built on the aslan. Okay? And the first one, meaning the asliyun, is also called what? Tabi'iyu. Okay? Or natural. Okay? You would understand that? And now that's just the first point. That there's 2 types of mud. The second type of mud is called, the first type of mud is called tabi'iyan or aslan. Either one of those terms. The next thing that we learn in these 3 lines is this. That tabi'iyan or aslan, the definition of that. What is it? It is وَهُوَ مَا لَا تَوَقُّفٌ لَهُ عَلَى سَبَبٍ. It is the type of mud that does not wait, is not waiting. Tawaqquf means to wait. هُوَ لَا تَوَقُّفٌ لَهُ. It is not set up or established, the aslan is not established for any reason. Okay? So that tells us 2 things. That this one here, the far'iyun, it comes for a reason. What we will call sabab. Sabab means a reason. Okay? Everybody with me? No. Now, and it says, وَلَا بِدُونِهِ الْحُرُوفُ تُجْتَلَبْ. It says, and without this, these letters, they won't be al-jalaba, they won't be drawn to each other in that way. You won't be able to hear them. Because the mud here is so you can hear the pronunciation in a proper way. Okay? Rather, any letter. Okay? It's not demanding. These letters are not demanding this thing. Any letter besides a hamza or a sukoon that comes after this mud, then name that mud fattabi'iyun. Then in that case, it is going to be fattabi'iyu. It's going to be a natural or an aslan yakun, aslan mud. Okay? And we gave examples last week. So, we learned something here, that if there is a mud, right? Then if a hamza or sukoon comes after it, then we know that it is not asliyan or tabi'iyan. Because it says any harf, any letter besides hamza or sukoon. You with me, guys? Am I going too fast? Any letter besides hamza or sukoon. So now we're like, okay, we need to know more about mud, right? We need to know more, because how does this going to see? What do you mean Hamza and Sukoon? Okay, what do we understand? Let's go through it, the next couple of lines, and we'll get to answer to that question here. Come on. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Speedy Gonzalez. Hey, take this off right here because you've messed it up. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Now, let's go to the next lines. The next lines says here, وَالْآخَرُ فرعي موقوف على سبب نعم على سبب كهمز أو سكون مسجلة. Okay, let's go over here. Now, وَالْآخَرُ, meaning the other one. Now, we just went through those first three lines, right? The first three lines told us what? There are two types. Now, there's two types, right? الْمَدُّ أَصْلِيٌّ وَفَرْعِيٌّ لَهُ وَسَمِّ أَوَّلًا طَبِيعِيٌّ وَهُ ما لا يوقف على سبب ولا بدونه حروف المجتلب بل أي حرف غير حمز أو سكون جاء بعد مد فالطبيعي يكون. والآخر الفرعي, and the next one, the فرعي is فرعي. So the first one was the asli. Now you want to know what a فرعي is, the one that's branched off, right? The constructed one. Then it is mawqufun. Like we said, the first one, وَهُوَ مَا لَا تَوَقُّفٌ لَهُ عَلَى سَبَبٍ. It's not waiting for a reason. But this one is mawqufun. It is waiting. Mawqufun, ma is a place, waqaf is the rest of it. It is waiting. It is at a place waiting, ala sabab, for a reason. Okay? Like what? Ka means like. This means like. That's what this is, kaf. That's all it is, kaf. Kaf means like. Like what? Like Hamza. Or sukun. Musjala is sajala. Is the word sajala. And sajala is to transcribe something. Tasjil. Okay? To write it into a book. Meaning that there has to be a Hamza or sukun written in there. Okay? If there's a Hamza or sukun, then it's fara'iyun. So now you know three things. You know, first of all, that the mud, how many types of mud are there? There are two types right here. But Abu Tawba, you said there's 9. We'll get to that. I said it's in different ways, right? This guy can't be explained all at one time or you'll be confused. The first thing we learned is how many types of mud are there? 2 types. What are they called? Asliyun, far'iyun. And asliyun means what? The natural way, the rooted way, the asl, the foundation. And the other one is what? Far'iyun. What does far'iyun mean? It's branched off of what? From the Islam. Why do we don't really care about explaining like, oh, we can't find a word for far'iyun? No, we don't need a new word for far'iyun. We're going to call it maddul far'i. And we're going to call the first one maddul asli or tabi'i. Right? Natural. But we're going to explain what it means so you understand what we're talking about. When we say a mad is far'i, we know that it's built off and branched off of what? Al-asl, the fundamental and foundational one. So, the first one, al-asl, it is what is not waiting for a reason. Like a hamza or a sukoon. Rather, any letter that comes after the mad, then that is going to be called what? Asliyun or tabi'iyan. Now, the other one, well, akhar, okay? the other one, and we name something thani or akhir, because if you say thani, that means thani wa thalith wa rabi, the second, third, fourth. When you hear the word akhir, that means there's nothing coming after it. Okay? There is no other. That is the other. That means there's only two. Hada wal akhir. Okay? The other one. You understand? It's final. It's the last. That's what it's called Yawmul Akhir. It's the last day. There's not Yawmul Thani. Yawmul Akhir. So, well, Akhir meaning there's no other type of mud, right? There's just those two types. And this is the Akhir, the other one, right? It's called Far'iyun, right? And the Far'iyu is Mawqufun ala sabab. It only comes after a reason. What are the reasons? Like a Hamza or a Sukoon written into the equation. Now we need to know more, right? Take this off the board. We following me? Easy? No. There's something else we need to know here. The way the poem is taking us is going to take us through the mindset of the listener. He's saying, okay, I know there's two types of mud. I know there's asli with far'i. I know asli is weight, it has no reason whatsoever. Any letter could come. And I know far'i has to come with a hamza or sukoon after it. But what are the letters of mud? Okay, that comes the next thing. How do I know what a mud looks like? So he tells us here, he says, hurufuhu. Follow me, say hurufuhu. ثلاثة فعيها من لفظ واي وهي في نوحيها Let me stop, okay? So, he says, حروفه ثلاثة فعيها من لفظ واي وهي في نوحيها. What does this mean? We went over this last week, but again, we're reviewing so you could be strong. حروفه. Hurufu what? The who has to represent something. What does the who represent?
The mud.
Mud. So huruful mud is the taqdiru kalam. The letters of mud are what? Thalathatun. How many? Three. There are 3 letters of mud. We just learned something different. Let's wrap it up again. Okay? Microbiology teacher, Dr. Amin, he used to mention everything he taught us, every lesson. But it made the final what? Easy. Because he kept repeating it over and over and over again. And that was pretty cool. And when he started out, you saw the diagram of the cell. It looks pretty intimidating. But by the end of the school term, you're like, oh, that's what the mitochondria does. And, this is because he went over it so much. Go back to this mud. And why am I doing this? Because mud is very detailed. And we have to know the mud. Too many people recite and they don't know what they're doing with the mud. It is one of the things that people make the major mistakes in. They say so much stuff and you're like, where did they get that from? Because they don't know the details to mud. So, going through mud, we know what? There's 2 types of mud. What are they? Louder! Asliyun wa far'iyun. Natural, fundamental, asliyun, and far'iyun is what? Branched off of the asliyun. Then we know that the asliyun has 2 names. What is the other name for the asli? Tabi'iyun, which also means natural. And I can't hear y'all in the back. Y'all get to making some noise, ladies. So it's also that. The next thing we know is that asliyan, what's the definition of the asli? Ma la tawaqqafu lahu ala sabab. What's not, that's right, memorize the poem. The poem is there for you to memorize. If you don't understand it, that's cool. Memorize it. It'll be a aunun. It'll be a help for you when you learn. And it'll be the proof for you in your mind. It is what is not waiting for any reason. There is no reason. Rather, any letter, bal ayyu harfin ja ba'da mad fattabi'iyun yakun, right? Ghayru hamzin aw sukun. Any letter that comes after the mad except for a hamza or a sukun, meaning a stop. We know sukun is not a letter, right? But that means that the letter can't be stopping. Can't have a sukoon or a shadda over it. Okay? We'll get to that when I start showing you examples. Then we know that this thing is tabi'iyun. It is natural. And the other one is far'iyun. What is that one? Mawqufun ala sabab. Mawqufun ala sabab. Mawqufun ala. It's waiting for a sabab. What does sabab mean? A reason. Just give me a sabab, Makeen. Give me a reason. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a suburb. You hear the people out the street, they be bugging, right? Give me a suburb. You know what I mean? Give me a reason. Right. Just want a suburb. But anyway, we need a suburb. What is a suburb? Like Hamza or Sukoon. Okay? That's a suburb. That is a reason for the far'iyun to be there. Now, what are the letters of mud? The letters of mud are what? Thalatha. Fa'iha. Since there are only 3, so memorize her. E means to memorize. It's from the word wa'i. Okay? Wa'i means to memorize something. Memorize. Wa'iya means to memorize something. What does it mean?
Wa'iya means to memorize something.
Right. Wa'iya means to memorize something. Let me write it bigger. Wa'iya is from these 3 letters. Wa'iya means to memorize. When you give it as an order, you say I, memorize. Okay? So he says here, fa'iha. Like this. Fa'iha. I, with the ya in there. Fa means so. Ha means the letters of mud. Memorize those 3 letters. Okay? Don't be talking in my class, Hajar. Okay? So memorize those 3 letters. Min lahdi wayin. From the statement or what you say is wayin. Say wayin. Wayin. These are the letters. A waw, a alif, and a ya. That's what the letters of mud are. There are no other letters of mud. There are 3. I say awa, because you can say that word. Awa. أوى إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا. Okay, ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. In Surah Al-Kahf. أوى, which means استعاذ, means that they sought refuge. Okay, to the cave. So you have, but it's not good because Hamza is as there as opposed to the alif. Wayin is clearer. Okay, so either one you use to memorize. Wahya. Wahya, release the sukoon, means wahiya, and these 3, wahiya, and these 3 are in this pronunciation, nu, he, ha. If you want to know how these 3 letters are the letters of mud, how they're used in mud format, then look at the word that you find in the Qur'an, nuhiha. Say that. Nuhiha. Look, it's a wow, right? From the first one here, wow, with a dhamma before it. Okay? It's a ya, from the ya, fidwayin, with a kasra before it. And it's an alif, with a fatha before it. Okay? This is how these letters are utilized to be letters of mud. Erase the board. Let's start again. Is that easy? Was this too difficult? Everybody's with me so far with the chapter of mud? Because like I said, we're moving pretty easy to make it very, very clear. The purpose of education is to enable the student to get along without the teacher, right? And the purpose of the way the teacher has to do it is to try to make it easy so the student doesn't get lost anywhere and feel any sense of depravity. He's feeling that he's depraved of understanding. So I know people say, well, we did this last week, but I want to make sure that we understand it well before we move forward. Okay? And you know it well when you can teach it. If you can't teach it, you can't articulate it without looking at your notes and these types of things, then you don't know it. Okay? Then you don't know it. Now we're in a chapter that I've made up. It's called Nuhiha. Say it again. Nuhiha. Because again, you have to understand what we're talking about when we say this mad. These letters of mad. Now, what you're looking for here is the 3 letters of mad and what precedes them. That's what you're looking at. Now pay attention. The poet says, he said, well, حروفه ثلاثة فعيها في لفظ واي وفي نوحيها. Now it says, he says, والكسر or كسر قبل الياء بسم الله وقبل واو ضم شرط وفتح قبل ألف يلتزم. Okay, let's go through this one pretty easy. I mean squeezy. He says, والكسر قبل الياء والكسر قبل الياء وقبل الواو ضم شرط وفتح قبل ألف يلتزم. It says يلتزم. نعم. والكسر قبل الياء. What does he say? والكسر قبل الياء. Look here. This is the kasra, and it comes before what? Yeah. Qabla means before. What does qabla mean?
Qabla means before.
What does qablu mean?
Qabla means before.
You can say qabla or qablu. You know, it says qablu means before. So a kasra this is a kasra. A piece of line that comes under the line. Except when there's a shadda. If there's a shadda, if the line is under, the cut is under the shadda, then that's also kasra, even though it's above the line. Okay? Both these are the ways you write kasra. Everybody understand me? No. Okay, so a kasra comes before the ya. Say it again. A kasra comes before the ya. That's one style of med. وَقَبْلَ الْوَاوِ ضَمْ. What? وَقَبْلَ الْوَاوِ ضَمْ. And before the wow is a dhamma. Okay? What's before the wow? Not over the wow. Not over the ya. The ya, the wow, the alif will have no letters, no vowel sounds over them. None. But we don't call them like sukoon like that because they won't have a sukoon over it. It won't have a sukoon over it. It doesn't need it because it is written but not necessarily, you're going to hear it, but it's in a different way. It's being used as a sound, extension sound. Okay? So you don't have to put a sukoon over it. You guys with me? وَقَبْلَ وَاوِ ضَمْ شَرْطٌ. What does shart mean? Condition. It is a condition. It is a condition that we have to have. What does shart mean? Condition. Shartun means what? Condition. وَفَتْحٌ قَبْلَ أَلْفٍ يُلْتَزَمْ. And it says, and a fatha that comes before the alif. Over here, a fatha right here comes before the alif. I should say this is a dhamma. A dhamma is a little wow above the line. Real small wow. It's the letter wow because it is the sound, the symbol that represents the oo sound. Very simple, oo. And a fath, here fathu, or is actually a shortened version of al-fatha. So it is the line that comes above the line. The small cut that comes above the line. Do you have any questions about that? And a fatha that comes before the alif. Yultazam, meaning lazim, meaning you have to have that there. He only put this here, ta'keedan, re-emphasizing over again the point that it has to be there. Why did I say he's re-emphasizing? Because when he said shart, that means it's a condition, meaning it has to be there. So this is ta'keed, emphasis upon emphasis. You guys understand that? No. Is there any questions about that? No. Okay, erase the board. Now, I said there are two things. There was the mud, and then I mentioned lean. Right? I mentioned the term lean. Some people write on it and said that I do too quick. It's a video. You can watch it again and make this go back and then do the whole thing over again. Right there. Inshallah. Take this off the board too. Thank you. Now, lean. Everybody say lean.
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 Just like you say in English, lean. I'm leaning on the wall. Okay? Lean is from the word layyin. Layyin means to be easy. To be easy. Okay? Your tongue is layyina. It's a muscle that moves real easily. All right? A little too easy. Now, the term lean is sometimes mixed up with mud. It is a type of mud, but it's different in the sense that it affects only, well, alif always has a fatha before it, right? No. This is considered mud and lean. Okay? The alif is considered mud and lean all at the same time. But when a fatha comes before a wow or a ya, it's not considered mud. It's considered lean. It's considered lean. Okay? So, the two classical examples of this is bait and khawf. Okay? These are two. Now, in the other examples, we didn't put a vowel, a sukoon, over the ya or the wow. We didn't put a sukoon over there. But in these examples, we do put a sukoon over them. Because they're being heard. You're saying a and ow. Those two constructions are considered lean. Listen to what the Sheikh says. He says walleen. Walleenu minha. Walleenu minha. Al-ya. Wal-wow. Wow. Afwan. Go check, see if that lady fell down the stairs. I heard somebody fall. That's what distracted me. Did you fall down the stairs? Oh, okay. Jazakallah khair. Shukran jazeelan. Yo. Okay, I got you. Wawawin sukkina. Infitahun, thank you. Infitahun qabla kullin u'lina. Okay. It says, وَاللِّينُ مِنْهَا الْيَا وَوَاوٌ سُكِّنَا إِنْ انْفِتَاحٌ قَبْلَ كُلٍّ أُعْلِنَا. Let's break it down, okay? So it's just a sentence. It's just that the sentence rhymes. He says, and the lean. We said lean is a terminology. Lean is as a terminology. Now,
Can you mention to the people that the download is on the website? Because
we're going to pause for commercial right now. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abu Tawba. I'm a teacher, and I play a teacher on TV. Check out the download on the FIKS.org. That's THEFIKS.org. The download is Tuhfat al-Atfal. Assalamu alaikum. And now back to our regular broadcast program. Well, lean is a terminology. As a terminology, it means the sound of the extended sound that comes from the A, the alif, and the ya, meaning A, and the the alif, the fatha and the ya, and the fatha and the wow. So we say a, and ow. Now you see, we said in this time we put a sukoon over each one, right? What do we say we do? We put a sukoon over the letters of mud. They're still letters of mud. But here they're letters of mud and lean. Okay? But when it's lean, we show the sukoon. Why do we show the sukoon? Because he says, and the lean is from it. From the lean is al-ya wal-wawun sukkina. Sukkina. I put a shadda here, right? Why did I put a shadda? Because it intensifies the word. It makes it causative, meaning you put a sukoon on there. Sukkina, made sukoon. Okay? So what did we do? We made it sukoon. You with me, guys? No. Yes, ma'am.
That's the only rule for that? That's the only time you see a sukoon?
On those letters, no. You will see, her question is this the only time you'll see a sukoon on the letters of med? No. If you go back to your other letters, if you go back to your other lessons, the lessons we said, maybe it's in master letters, but what you'll find is, or maybe it's in Rasm al-Qur'an, when we did the signs and symbols of the Qur'an. We did this sign. That's one of the signs and symbols that you'll see in the Qur'an. You'll only see it over an alif, a waw, or a ya in the Qur'an. When you see it, generally, whenever you see it, it means that that letter is part of, when it's dealing with the alif, we call it alif al-fariqa. That it comes at the end of a word, like a word qalu, right? And it means the word has ended, and you can go on to the next word now. When you see it over waw and ya, it might be part of the word, like as a letter of lean, bringing the diphthong. That's if it's preceded with a fatha. If it's not, then it's an extra letter that's written in the rasm, in the construction of the word, but not pronounced. Okay? You'll see like ayyid, and it'll have two yas there. You say, why is that like that? You know, what's going on? Did they make a mistake? No, they didn't make a mistake, but that's the way it was written when we got the masahif, the what they call the Qur'ans all the time. But it's also called the mushaf. Its name is mushaf. It's just that the general people call them Qur'ans, you know. So when you see it like that, and they've kept it that way, or that's how the Arabs wrote that word, but it's pronounced a different way. So that sukoon is put over it, different from this sukoon that you'll see in the mushaf, different from that, which means khalin, okay, void. This one in there looks like a little 5, lets you know that that's part of the writing of the word when you spell it, but you do not pronounce this letter. Wa alaykum as-salam. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Yes. Okay, so does that answer your question? Okay. Can I get that, please? Thank you. So the leanu minha al-ya wa wawun sukkina. They're sukkina. In infitahun qabla kullin u'lina. If here means when also. When there is a fatha in infitah. In infitah is on the scale in fa'ala. Okay? In fa'ala means that it obeyed an action, meaning basically it was made a fatha before it. Okay? When you see, it's just a polite, it's poetry. So he's saying in beautiful speech, when there's a fatha before that, it has a sukoon before each one of them, u'lina, and that's well known. You can see it. That's known. Al-i'lan is like an advertisement, a sign. So basically when you see it, when you see that it has a fatha before it, does that make sense? No. Everybody follow me? That is basically the first chapter in Mad. Follow down. We're following this one up from last week's lesson. Hope there's no confusion. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام. Do you have any questions? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.